Okay, now,
There you go.
okay. So Patrick, maybe you can describe monitors and the differences a little bit.
Sure. What at least the ones that I'm familiar with.
Yeah.
Is there like a specific question about them?
It's called a newbie question. Essentially, I've been using Altmon and it's been working fine for an 8085 board that I have a CompuPro 8085-88 board. And it's working fine. I put a CompuPro ZPU Z in there and not get anywhere. And I'm thinking, okay, one of the things I am trying to have it go to is the monitor, the Altman monitor. I'm thinking, wait, I know some of these things can be compiled as a 8080, and I thought Z80s were compatible with it, but
Hmm?
then again, I might be assuming something that could be semi weeks down the road to find out that I'm wrong. So that was the initial reason of the question.
Okay.
The cards are unknown that I'm testing. Those two cards that I'm trying to get working are unknown, so they the go ahead.
Yeah. So the monitors should work as long as it's compiled or assembled for your CPU,
Yeah, sorry, assembled. Yeah.
and as long as the whatever it's using for a console, your 2SIO, your SBC 100,
Yeah.
as long as it's set up for that, they should work.
Yeah. So essentially, I have all my cards. I can plug the 8088, 8085 board in there, and boot it up, and I'm getting into everything. I'm seeing everything's popping up. The Altmon is coming up, and then from there, oh, I'm sorry. From there, I take the CPU card out, put the other one in. I did make sure my jumpers are set on. By the way, on this backplane to be IEEE for this stuff. And being CompuPro to CompuPro, this a lot of the settings are very similar on the switches, but I've double checked them. And
Hmm.
again, it turns on. I get activity, but I get activity in my little bus display, but I don't get anything else. So I just I just
So,
want to make sure I wasn't wasting time. It is a Z80 versus an 8085, but I'm assuming, and I'm not recompiling Altmon
Yeah,
for
it should
that.
work.
It should
so,
work. Okay,
so,
go ahead.
so, it probably depends upon how your board's configured for a starting address. So, for
Yeah.
example, um, a lot of boards will start at 0 unless you set them otherwise. So you have to make sure that you point what are they called? Basically, it's a reset vector, but you
Yeah.
point the address you jump to
Yeah.
needs to be where your ROM is.
Yeah.
So
There's a
your
power on.
8085,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
the
Go
power
ahead.
on jump. So your
Yeah.
8085 and your Z80 may be different. So you want to check the settings for that address
Oh,
to jump to.
yeah. I mean, I've made sure that each one was it's the same address they have to jump to,
Okay.
but I made sure each one. And yes, actually, on these, and I don't know why computer this on these boards, one jumper on might be considered a one. Another jumper on the same board on will be considered a zero. So you really have to kind of watch that flip flopping as well on both boards.
So
Yeah, I can't remember. Does your display board does it have a stop button? I can't.
I do have I can put it into wait and or a stop button, and then I can do single stepping.
that would be
Um,
good.
Yeah,
and
what I would
then
do is stop and see what address you're at.
Right.
I've actually been hitting stop, reset, and then start. Hitting one step to see where I end up. And it doesn't look like it's jumping to the ROM is what I'm seeing on those other cards.
Okay.
Uh,
Yeah,
so,
if
so,
it's
so,
not
so
going to if it's not going to F800,
yeah,
Right.
it's
Now,
probably
yeah.
off in the weeds somewhere.
yeah.
But
Actually,
what
go ahead.
I
Go
was going to
ahead.
say, the other thing to check is that you have the right number of wait states because ROMs tend to be slow. So they
Okay.
sometimes need wait states so that they can stabilize the data on the bus
Yeah.
before the CPU reads it.
Yeah, that's a good point. I don't actually remember what the weight states were on theirs. I usually turn them. I hate to say it as a guess. I turning them on or not. I usually
Right.
do turn them on. Though I'm using. I always think of the ROM and the RAM are on the Flex. I have a Flex RAM 64 card, which is relatively modern. So I
Uh,
usually didn't think I needed much of a weight state based on the other cards that are in there, which are 40 years old.
right.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's I think these are all great suggestions. So the other thought was, okay, I'm using Altmon. Are there other monitors? I just kind of wanted to discuss some of the other features and options out there. I know John has something because somewhere around here I have one of his Z80 master boards, which I haven't gotten to, but he has something called Master Z8 is Z80. And then there was obviously I did find a ROM for a monitor for the SD cards that we were the SBC 200s and 100s. I found a generic ROM for them. I forgot what it was called. It was one of the SD ROMs. But again, I wanted to see if there was some other more what's called generic. I almost think Altmon is kind of a generic monitor and pretty much has everything you need. But so.
Yeah, one core thing, all monitors make assumptions about I/O.
Yeah.
So yeah, if it's set up like Altmon normally is for a 2SIO, then you have to have a 2SIO sitting at 10, 11 hex.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's writing to a port that's not there. Other monitors may use different values. I have one of those Z80 boards from John as well.
Yeah.
I have a heavily modified version of his monitor that works with a Interfacer 1 because I have one of those, and that's what I had for serial I/O when I first put it together, and that works at completely different ports.
Yeah.
There was also Zapple at one time.
Apple, yes.
I heard about I read about Zappo a little bit, but it sounded like that's where John kind of started and went from there. Is that what I read somewhere? For his monitor, the Master Z80.
I think so, yeah. Although
Mark,
go ahead.
And Martin Eberhard has an Amon, which I think comes on his 2SAO JP board.
Mm-hmm. It does. It's very similar to Altmon. It's just the prompts and menus are different, but it has most of the same functions.
I think a lot of it depends on what you're trying. I actually have two monitors up. If you want to I think it depends on what you're trying to do with your monitor.
Mm-hmm.
Again, to date, Altmon has been pretty much covering me for essentially loading hex files and dumping memory and that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, again, so which monitor is this?
So this is the SD Mon. Hey, Paul, this is actually your SBC 100.
Okay.
The only thing I had to do was the crystal, I think, got damaged. So it wasn't made in contact. I just put a new crystal in and it came right up.
Oh, excellent.
So this is the SD monitor, and one of the things it will do is it has stuff built into it for the VersaFloppy disk controller. So you can do ZC0, and now it's formatting drive formatting drive 0. Nice. An Altmon wouldn't have that type of feature.
Yeah.
But you could with SDMon, you can read sectors from a VersaFlop. You can write sectors. You can dump memory. It kind of has its own.
It didn't have like a hex load though, did it, or not?
No, and so I can show you those. This is actually kind of a, but yeah, it didn't. But I can show you that too. So
yeah,
like the SBC 100 has 3 ROM slots.
Yeah.
So this is your typical SDMon at E00.
Yeah.
And then you have the DD BIOS at F00, but I put another one in. So now if I go to F800, I'm sorry. We do it again. Not F800. If I go to E800, I put Altmon there.
Gotcha.
And I had to modify it to use the SBC 100's console port instead of the 2SIO. But now I have hex load and all the stuff that Altmon has.
Yeah.
And then I also did, just for exciting since I'm here, if I go to it's EC00.
Okay.
Now I have this is using the SBC 100 for the console port, but now it's booting Mike's serial CPM using the 2SIO for the serial drive server.
Awesome.
So now with an SBC 100 and a 2SIO, you can boot CPM just using your serial port. And I put
that's pretty
I put the
cool.
bootloader in the ROM at EC00.
Yeah.
But so the monitors, it really kind of depends on what you want to do with it. I use the read and write sector a lot when I was trying to get the VersaFloppy working and booting S-DOS and all that stuff.
Okay, but like you said, Altmon doesn't really offer that, so that's where the case where the SD ROM monitor was stepped up because you were working with the VersaFloppy. Yeah, gotcha.
And the nice thing with Altmon on the hex loader is even if you are working on something and you don't have it in ROM, you can just hex load it.
Yeah,
and do that.
Well, that was one of the things when I was first starting up. I didn't have anything, even with the SD SBC 100. I had a monitor. I think it was the MON R1 or something. They had another. There was a ROM that came from them. It wasn't the one for the floppy. It didn't offer really any of the floppy options. But I found that without the hex load, to me it was limiting at that point. I wanted to try to get stuff in and try to play with things I could load in that way. I didn't have any drive, anything to try to load any operating system at that point. So
yeah, it's very limiting when you can't. I think when you can't hex load.
Yeah.
I got a question.
Yeah.
For the new setup of those
Thanks, Al.
ROMs, for the new setup of those ROMs, you got Altmon at, I think you said it ZC00?
Yeah, I think it's an E800.
Or E8. But is it possible to flip that over to F800 and the other one down to E8 or something like that?
If you reassemble it, yeah.
It's possible, but for an SBC 200, it likes RAM and a lot of in the DD BIOS and different things. It wants RAM at F800. So you can't use. So if I put ROM at F800, I can't put RAM at F800. So that's why I put it down at E800.
Oh, okay.
This is all like specific for the SBC 200 stuff.
Yeah. Those cards were different, unique where they wanted to point to.
Yeah.
I remember reading a lot about that.
Yeah.
So
it's a cute card. I'm starting to like it.
So did you actually get both working?
So one of yours is working, and then Paul's is working as far as I can tell. I haven't booted off floppy yet, but it just wasn't working. And the first thing I usually look at is voltage and clock. And at the CPU, it didn't have clock, so just kind of figured that out, and kind of was jiggling on the little canister, and it's like that seems like it's not right. So I just took it out and put in a new one, and
no, that's cool.
That's amazing. Thank you very much.
Oh, sure.
So okay, no, that's great.
That's all our stuff, mate. Joe, Patrick's just got all our gear.
Yeah, it's all right. He's going to sell it on eBay for a profit and find himself a 200. So, I know you're looking. Like I say, I still have I have a 200 here that I did. It was one of the only cards that was working. Now I do have a couple other things that are working currently. So like I said, I can always send that out to you if you want to play around with the 200 and go to the next level, I guess.
Yeah, I just really want to see if I can get their CPM2 and CPM3 booting from floppy. And the 100 just won't do it. So
just reach out to me, and we'll figure out that send that out and that kind of thing. So
deal.
And by the way, it is a good way to learn assembly language programming, tinkering with the monitors. So if you're not already somewhat conversant, it's a really good place to learn.
Yeah, I like that suggestion. I was trying to look. So far, what I've been able to do is I had a SSM IO4 card, and actually instead of trying to convert the monitor to work with whatever default settings, I just made that card look like the 88 2SIO because it was easy. It was easier that way.
I swear you could make that card look like almost anything.
Yeah, so I did have an interface I was going to try, but it actually blows the 16 volt negative line every fuse every time I put it into the board.
That's a short looking for you to find.
Yeah, I just gotta pull it out and start slowly going through it. So again,
Oh,
but yeah,
one thing I use, by the way, when I'm playing around with monitors, especially when I was rewriting John's,
yeah,
is I use the EEPROM emulator for my geeky hobby. So this guy has a little device here. I'll put a link in chat.
I was just going to suggest that.
um, so he has a little device. It's basically hooks up to your regular old Windows computer via USB and then plugs into the EEPROM socket. So you can dynamically load code onto it, which it stores in RAM. Plus, it has a little bit of its own flash storage on it for reboot. And then the two wires, if you look at the link, the two wires off there are a active positive and active negative reset. So inside the software, you can say upload new code and then reset the computer, all from your Windows machine. It's pretty cool.
yeah.
And when I was
Go
writing the modified monitor for John's board, John's Z80 board, I was literally making an edit, running it through the Altair emulator to assemble it, converting that code, and then shipping it off to here, so I could put updated versions of my ROM onto the board every couple of minutes, literally in real time, without erasing and burning EEPROMs. So if you're doing anything with EEPROMs, he gets like $85 for one of these. He sells them on eBay.
Yeah, I think I saw it on eBay recently. So I was actually looking.
If you're doing a monitor, if you're writing your own monitors, this thing is worth its weight in gold.
I gotta look for that. That's probably worth investing.
Yeah,
Yeah, if you guys find it, put a link in the chat. Oh, it's right here. You probably
right there. Yeah.
Oh, awesome.
It is a truly awesome device. Like I said, I was blown away. I stumbled across it, ordered one, and once it's a little fiddly to get it all set up and working right. And then since it's got a ribbon cable to the connector, if you screw up the pins on that connector, you could just make another ribbon cable or crimp another, plug on the end.
Yeah.
And like I said, the two little hooks there, one is an active positive, one's an active negative reset that you can control from the Python code that he's got for managing this thing. It is, like I said, if you're playing around with EEPROMs, it's a great little device.
I ended up buying more because I had to, you put them in the eraser and then you under the UV and then you burn some and then you put those in the UV and hopefully the other ones are done. And it's like, I'm running out of prompts.
Yeah, I love this. I was literally be sitting there in my text editor on the Windows desktop, make a couple of edits, save the file, reassemble it in the emulator, and then I was using my EEPROM burner software to convert it to the right format.
Okay.
And then uploading it with his software. And I could go from hitting save on the edit to running it in like 30 seconds.
Oh yeah, I need one of those.
I imagine if you're writing assembler code and you're putting it into ROMs, you don't have to. And then when you finally get something you're happy with, then you could just burn a copy. Yeah. But up to that point, I mean, I was trying to get John's Z80 board working with a CompuPro Disk 1.
Okay.
It doesn't. So I was constantly editing, and because it was in assembler, I could put in little breakpoints so it would print things as it went through my code on the screen to say where it had got before it would hang. It was great.
That's awesome.
I posted the eBay link. Just in there.
He's got a GitHub as well. He publishes the KiCad for the board if you want to build your own. So,
Yeah.
So these EEPROMs, you have to erase them each time then?
Normally, EEPROMs, yes. You program them.
News to me.
You program them, and you either the old ones, the 2700 or 27,000 series, you have to use UV.
Yeah.
And the 28, and then the 28s electrically.
Oh,
So, it's great. It's great once you've got somewhere, but the getting there, I found this thing was, like I said, worth its weight in gold.
I'm so miles away here, am I? I'm just so far away here. I thought you just put them in and you just reprogrammed them.
The 2800 series you can because they're electrically erasable, but the older 2700 series you have to use a UV lamp to erase them. And
Patrick, which ones do I need?
The UV, the 27.
Yeah, that'll figure. Yeah.
But I'm going to send you everything. I mean, I'll have at least you'll at least have the ones I sent you. And then you could always erase those. And
No, I just know I'm going to have to buy one of these sunbeds, aren't I? What do you call them? These UV arrays and things. Aren't
yeah,
They do have cheap, AliExpress ones. I mean, I think they work if you run them. I don't know how great they are, but they're
that's the one I got, just some cheapo one. They work fine.
Yeah.
They're only in there for I don't know 6 minutes, 7 minutes.
yeah. So yeah, they aren't
I looked at
expensive.
the EEPROM thing though. I looked at the EEPROM maker, and it's like £100 over here.
oh, the programmer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the programmer's doing a lot, and it has to be able to
Yeah, I
generate
know.
fairly high voltages, especially for the EEPROMs, the 2800s.
Yeah.
It has to be able to generate fairly high voltages just to do the erase.
Yeah.
I know.
So, there's a lot going on in them. And I mean, you can build one yourself if you want, but I bet you'll spend the same amount of money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought this vintage computing lark was going to be like fairly lightweight on the budget.
Yeah, right.
No, it's right up there with collecting antique watches or cars.
I've done that. Not cars.
That's so to the kind of similar thing. My brother, I've mentioned it. I think you guys have met him once before when he was here. He has something that is actually, you pull the Z80 out of the socket and you actually plug this unit in, and you can do stopping, starting. It's almost like having a front panel, but it's within this kit. I haven't plugged it into anything yet. It was something he picked up a number of years ago. So I'm looking forward to plugging that into something sometime in the future.
Does the Z80 plug into it?
No, it becomes a Z80. Hold on a second. What is it called, Al?
The Nikolai Z80 Nice.
A Nikolai Z80 Nice, NICE, Al?
Yeah, that's it.
Okay, Nikolai. Yeah. So I don't have any link or anything for it. I know. And I don't have the unit here. Next time I'll bring the unit and
No, it's an in-circuit emulator.
He's called an in-circuit emulator. So essentially, you're pulling the Z80 out. It's going into the socket,
okay.
and again, for a case here where I have that little stop button on my display board. But if I didn't have that, you can within that software stop and start and do a number of different things. Again, I haven't looked at it. I don't know if it runs on Linux, Windows, or if it's all contained on some display on it. So, but it sounded like another cool kind of feature.
Right. So it sits in the middle of it sits between the PC and the actual EEPROM. It just allows you to
well, it's not that
change the version of the EEPROM on the fly without writing it.
So yeah, the EEPROM emulator that Tim was describing is essentially
right.
Yeah, like it sits on there instead of the EEPROM, so you can push your code in through a not a Raspberry Pi. I'm sorry, a Nano. I think it looked like.
Yeah, it's a Nano on there.
Yeah,
and it just hooks up through USB to your computer. So
yeah, that looks really cool.
Yeah, I like that.
I think they're going to be looking into that more because I could see that sounds like something fun. And I do have a UV burner. It's again my brother. Some of my brother has big one. He's collecting. I don't know how many. I can put 50 chips into the damn thing. It's a big long thing. So
right,
yeah,
it looks great. Actually, yeah.
So. Okay. Thank you for going over the ROM and actually the emulator goes right into that conversation. I appreciate the input, guys. That's going to be helpful.
Oh, good deal.
Trying to think of other than anybody else been playing with anything.
Just the SBC 100.
Yeah. Well, I actually did. Question would, Chris, I can keep talking all day, so you guys are going to interrupt me if somebody else wants to hop in. So I was looking at actually compiling something on an Altair simulator, and they mentioned Z80 ASM, but the
Right.
version I think I was running CPM 3, but I could not find a version of Z80 ASM within that. It has anything. It had some other emulator. It had some other actually assemblers in there. But is that another package that I have to hunt for?
The Z80 assembler is built into the Altair emulator. I know that.
Okay, so I didn't say because I just actually reloaded. I mainly do most of my stuff on Linux, but I
Right.
reloaded. Is it only in CPM 3? Is it in CPM 2?
Do you know whose it is?
Well, so it was a reference from John's site
Right.
about compiling this
Yeah.
master.z80.
Yeah, I think I know which one that is. I have it somewhere because I needed it to compile his VersaFloppy.
Yeah.
I have it. I just gotta find it.
But yeah, it's built. It's in the standard Altair Z image. I know that the one that John distributes or that John points to off his site.
Yeah, so it was supposed to be there. I downloaded it, and then of course his files were the least files I brought down were so old that it wouldn't run with my version of the Altair simulator. It said it was because his was a version 3 and the Altair simulator was like version 4 or something at this point. So I then that was on a Linux system. So I then downloaded because his does include the whole exe with it, So I downloaded it on a Windows system, which again, the only thing I use Windows for right now is just the EEPROM burning because that's the only thing I could write it right to. So I did not see it in his image. That was a problem.
I'm looking at I have version 3.8-1 of his image.
If it's the one I'm thinking of, I just put it in the chat.
Oh, great! Thank you.
Yeah, I think that's all.
I'm thinking that's it. Okay, I'll grab that and yeah, it was kind of funny. Somebody referenced that, and when I clicked on it, it tried to bring up a website. Yeah, the .com kind of messed it up.
Yeah, it did mess things up.
It's kind of funny. So okay, thank you guys. Yeah, if I think that's it unless Tim finds something different.
I'm just looking right now. Okay.
Yep.
Just looking. It's been so long since I've used this thing. Where is it running it from?
Let's see. I gotta think of where I'm gonna put that. Actually,
oh no,
it's an assembler.
Need to remember which operating system I'm in.
Actually, to use his.
Okay,
so there's also there's another one called ZASMB.
So Z80 ASM. Where are we? Z80. Yeah, Z80 ASM is the one that's on his system, and it is. Where is it? It's on the. I mean, because he has you go to use the iDrive on the CPM3 that comes up on his system.
Yeah.
And but I think that is still on the. I'm trying to find it. It's been so long since I've used this.
So yeah, so when the image I had, and again, it could have been me, but the A drive was maxed out in size. I think I did a show or something with CPM3. Couldn't do a thing on it.
Yep.
So then I actually went to iDrive, and I believe the iDrive was empty, unless that somehow my disk wasn't. The disk file was.
Might want to just re-download the emulator from the S100 site because he has a link to it there, and it's already got his monitor source code in it. So, and it's got got the read and write commands built in.
Yeah.
So you can write the submit files and just do the whole thing.
Yeah, well, that's what I was actually looking at. Submit file. And I looked in the submit file and says, "Hey, assembler Z80 assembler ASM." It's like, well, and then so I tried to type the command by itself, and it says not found on A and I. It's like, okay, that didn't work for me. So again, it could be me, and maybe something I did wrong. It could be me in Windows. That's always trouble.
Okay.
Windows.
Yeah, I think it's on the. I don't know where the hell it is, but it's hiding from me as well.
Ah, now I'm not feeling so bad.
It's there. I can run it, but I can't find it, which is just weird.
Yeah. And
Anyway.
they didn't get it. They didn't have a witch command at that point. So
Yeah, there's a lot of things we didn't have back in the day.
yeah, no big deal. If you do find it, you can throw it into the chat, or
Yeah.
if not, don't stress. I'm gonna thank you, Patrick, for putting it up there. Anyways, I'll put
Oh,
that down.
he can also post it on the forum.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that would be fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
But yeah, I literally just downloaded this from John's site, and it's worked fine for me.
Oh yeah, that's what I assumed. I was going to do and I happened to, since he did a Windows version, I went through the extra effort of firing up the Windows system.
Yeah, I'm still still living in Windows for day-to-day use.
It's no, again, it's preference. I support Windows. I'm not Windows, Linux systems where I work. So day to day is a lot of Ubuntu and that kind of stuff. I've been doing it for years now.
Yeah.
So
I remember doing stuff like that.
yeah.
I was a Unix sysadmin at one point back in the 90s.
Yeah. I've been mainly heads down with that stuff since 2001.
Yeah.
I got the job at the company I'm at, and
oh wow,
so they originally SCO, but we had Edge Linux things, Unix things, Linux, and then from there we changed, and over time we actually had it where we were using Linux desktops, Linux servers, everything was Linux, and then they changed to Windows desktops because of a lot of external customers are sending in stuff Windows based, and LibreOffice, in fact, actually then was Open Office and Star Office back when I were defining with it. We're not keeping up with, or Microsoft was changing the format so quickly that they weren't keeping up with it. So they said, okay, time to put Windows on everybody's thing and give them some sort of X front end for the applications we run. So good stuff, though. I've enjoyed it. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, well, I was just thinking, because we want to try and keep these to an hour.
Oh,
Is there any other Altair questions?
Sorry.
Nobody has an Altair question?
Apparently not this week.
How you doing, Terry?
Helps if I unmute. Doing good.
Good. You doing anything exciting?
Oh, I'm about to jump back into the FPGA world.
Okay.
Do some more with the with John's FPGA board. Finally, I think I got all of Walt's boards tested and packed and ready to go to him, shipped to him tomorrow. So it's a huge box. It's got a front panel in it, so it's
nice.
Yeah, that CPA panel is pretty wide.
Yeah, the CPA, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Other than that, I've got about 5 different things ripped apart right now. I've got my IMSAI, my real IMSAI, halfway apart because I'm trying to figure out how to put my CPA in a Caprio chassis.
Oh yeah.
Finding all kinds of little odds and ends to fight with that. Haven't fired up my North Star yet.
That'll be exciting.
Yep. I've always loved the Horizon. Couldn't afford one when they were out before, but I did have 2 of the floppy disk controllers. One was in the original CBBS, and the other one was on one of my machines. So that's kind of what I'm messing with. Not too much on the Altair this week. This is more IMSAI oriented.
Big deal.
Well, the IMSAI isn't that much different.
Yeah.
I was going to say, can I ask a really curious question? What is the fundamental difference between IMSAI and Altair?
Well, it's kind of like Ford versus Chevy.
I was going to say we don't have enough time on this call
Yeah, it's kind of like a Ford versus a Chevy. The different brands. Altair was first. Altair's got the kind of a messier front panel with all the wires. IMSAI, I think they spent a lot of time thinking about it and came up with a lot better machine, both physically and electronically.
Yeah, I mean the the IMSAI shipped with like a 20 slot bus or something. Was it?
Yeah.
Was it 22, I
Well,
think?
you could get them in different formats. Yeah.
Right, but
Yeah.
so they've managed to get. They didn't sell you something with just 4 slots in it.
Yeah.
The connector between the front panel and the CPU board is an 8-pin connector, which
Actually 16 pin.
is it 16? Oh, sorry, 16. But that's also on some others like that 8088, 8085 board you've got.
Yeah.
That one has the same connector on. You can actually put that into an IMSAI and plug it right in, and it works. So,
Yeah.
Yeah, I've made adapters between the Altair and the IMSAI. There's my original IMSAI.
yeah.
Loose front panel at the moment, and it's got in a SSM solid state music CB2 CPU board, a RAM 17, which is probably one of the best old memory boards.
Yep.
Tarbell single density controller, and then an IO2 of some variety.
Was that the solid state music?
I don't actually remember. I think it may be a MITS.
Because I've seen somebody selling reproduction boards, just the boards, obviously, for the IO2, and it is a very general purpose board.
Yeah. I think this one may be a MITS because it's got a lot of the jumpers and other weird stuff on it.
Yeah, but yeah, I've seen somebody online, I think on eBay, selling the solid state music IO2 board, and I look at it and it's like 30% of it's stuff that you populate directly, and the rest of it's just places to build your own things.
Yeah.
Even the connectors to the S100 bus, I think, are all disconnected by default, other than maybe power.
Yep. Yeah, I think so. I don't know if you can see it, but there's a whole bunch of jumpers right here for
Now
the
that's
two
an
serial.
SIO.
That is an SIO. Oh yeah, that looks like an SIO. Yes, that definitely looks like an SIO.
Oh, it looks like an SIO too.
It is.
Yeah.
It is an
Okay.
SIO2. And then pull back. Here's the 3 8-inch disk drives for it. And then there's my Altair, a Heath H19 terminal. And there's my MITS Altair 8800B turnkey.
Oh wow.
Nice.
And there's the 2 floppies for that. I had 8-inch floppies on all my systems at one time. I think I've got like 15 or 16 of them laying around. But yeah, that's the old IMSAI. And the new IMSAI is in pieces right now. Actually, they're both in pieces at the moment.
Does anyone out there actually use a terminal to attach to their equipment, apart from like using software emulation over USB? Because I'll be honest, I was speaking to Patrick very briefly the other day about building a terminal, and I was thinking about building one of the little small circuit boards that you can get that obviously attaches to a VGA screen and a PS2 keyboard. And I was thinking it'd be really cool just to take that device, put it on the back of a monitor, and create. Well, I know it.
There's one literally right there.
You haven't seen what I'm building, Tim. I can assure you, it's gonna be a horrific. Absolutely, it's gonna shock people what I'm building. So I was thinking about building a terminal which is on the back of like an all-in-one.
Right.
I've tried several different terminals, different of these little circuit board terminals, and the one I showed you in the screen a little minute ago, that's the Jeff Graham terminal, and you program the
Yeah.
PIC chip, and it can be a VT100
Right.
or a VDM1, and depending on the program on the PIC chip, I think it can even do a few other emulations. But right now, I've only used it as VDM1 and VT100. But there's another one called Versaterm,
Yeah.
which is, I mean, I love that one, with the exception of, I wish I could add, someone's coughing.
Right.
Someone's
Sorry,
having the
that's my brother is. I'm sorry
Yeah.
about that, guys.
The
Okay.
Versaterm, the only thing I don't like about the Versaterm is it doesn't have an ADM3 or like a televideo emulator in there, but it's got 3 or 4 different terminal emulators: VT50, VT100, and one for some other, like a
Right.
Commodore or something. Yeah. But
What's the preferred terminal? What was the preferred terminal of the day? I worked when I was back in about 69, 79. In about 89, 94, I worked with a company called Alloy. I don't know if anybody, because it's an American company, so people might remember Alloy. And I worked with a company with a product called NTNX, and Alloy Multiware. And we used to use terminals that were like Wise 99 GTs. Now, I can't remember what emulation they used, but would that have been like VT220?
Probably VT100.
VT100?
Yeah, that was the most popular for a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. VT220 is quite a bit later, I think.
So what would they
Well,
use?
there was VT52 is a much older version,
Right.
but it got upgraded to VT100, which kind of like became really popular. And a lot of schools and places had the ADM3 and the Hazeltine, and then mainframes had the televideos, and many computers also had the televideos and some of the other terminals.
Yeah.
There's a televideo right there, televideo 950, that goes with the CompuPro right below it. CompuPro 816. That's another one that I've got to find time to fire up.
Yeah, I had a 910 back in the day, but I sold it long time ago. I wish I hadn't, because it was a thing of beauty, even though it weighed way too much. But yeah, I'm using basically a Versaterm, and then I 3D printed a case for the Versaterm that had a VESA mount hole pattern on it, so I could screw it onto the VESA mount on the back of the monitor.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
It's nice and clean and out of the way, and but I've also got an old Weiss terminal, but I hate it because it beeps every time you hit a key.
Another interesting terminal that I found was a Dynabyte naked terminal. It was actually an S100 board that put out video on coax and had a keyboard input. And I've got it locked. I've got it somewhere in here from my old Altair, but it was pretty cool.
There's also another terminal emulator that goes to a VGA, and it uses the ESP32 chip, and that's called the FabGL VGA.
Yeah,
and those are nice. That emulates about a dozen different terminals. It emulates an Altair 8800, emulates an IBM XT, and a VIC-20 gaming computer. But that's got the most emulations built into it, and it's real
That might be the one I was speaking to with Patrick. Oh, ESP32. No, that's sorry.
Well, it's called the FabGL. That's all one word. VGA.
Yeah, apologies. I was thinking about the serial device server. He was talking to me about a serial device server, and I think that was called the ESP32.
Yeah,
I do apologize.
Yeah. There's also the TT Go chip boards.
Yeah.
I'll put the link in the chat.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've always been partial to the H19s myself, the Heathkits.
They
got
look-
two.
My brother said the same thing that he has. I think it was the H89s, which aren't actually the terminal or the actual computers. He had a couple of
Yeah.
those in the back.
Yeah, the
room here.
H89 had an extra board, which was the main computer board. It had
Yeah.
the Z80 and a 64K RAM and a ROM and all that.
Yeah, that's one of the things kits he's back there. He's been working on slowly. So, but yeah, the HP was not the HP. I'm sorry. The you so which one is that one?
Heathkit.
Heathkit. Thank you. I knew it was one of the H's. Heathkit were actually pretty cool. Like I said, when he got those, it was kind of cool to look at the inside of them.
I've got a couple of them, and the interesting part is they're one of the things that WordStar works with. I've got WordStars. Been using that the whole time, and on it you either chose a VT100. Well, typically you chose a VT100 or an H19, and they were popular enough to where WordStar MicroPro actually had drivers for it built in.
Nice.
Well, that's one of my things that I would really like to do is to get WordStar up and actually type a letter and print it out.
Well, to me, a computer
I know it sounds like really random, but I really want to do that. I really do.
Have you ever actually used WordStar to edit documents? Because from experience, it's a pain in the ass.
I wrote newsletter. I edited newsletters on the WordStar for a long time. I loved it.
It was cool, but it was
So there's a question to me.
We're not doing it because it was easy.
Yeah. What was that thing I said the other day? We didn't do this because we thought it was easy. We did this because we thought it would be easy.
Well, all you had to do is remember the DNF and everything else, or what is it, S&D? I forget which. And everything else worked around that.
Right.
Controlled. Yeah, to me, a Z80 or an 8080 computer is not really a CPM computer is not a CPM computer unless it has WordStar installed.
Okay.
Did it ever have a spreadsheet? Because my first spreadsheet was SuperCalc, but that ran on a DOS-based machine which had Hercules graphics. Now we don't do Hercules graphics, do we?
No.
So, is there such a thing as a text-based spreadsheet?
The first ever spreadsheet I saw was on the Apple II, and that was called what the hell?
Just 1, 2, 3.
Multi-plan on the TI. I think it was one thing.
On the Apple II.
Is there a text-based spreadsheet?
I think it was called VisiCalc.
VisiCalc.
VisiCalc. There you are. Good call.
That was the first one I ever saw. It was VisiCalc on the Apple II.
So kind of thing. Editors for CPM. I try to Ed and I aren't getting along yet. There's just way too squirrely commands. It's kind of like, I've been using Vi and Vim for years, and I'm still a beginner at them. So you have WordStar. I've heard people using WordStar to write code and stuff. If you want to kind of do it within that environment, thoughts, suggestions?
I do it the easy way. I do everything in Windows Notepad, and then copy paste it over to the computer.
I use Sublime in Windows.
Yes.
I love Sublime. I love Sublime. There's even a Z80 extension. So if you're writing in Z80 code, it formats and colors it all for you, which is nice.
The recent version under Linux has been barking at me about buying it, and I probably should. At this point, I started trying to use Emac GUI.
I remember email.
Yeah. It hasn't. It's okay. I'm trying to get used to it, but because again, as we know, hobby and just trying to save money. So I'm not.
A line editor like Ed, that's more trouble than it's worth.
Yeah, I use VI in the simulator.
Right.
Yeah. So okay.
Right. There's one called Nevada Ed. Actually, I've been trying to find something where we can find the source code to an editor, like Nevada Edit or something, and see if we can convert it to VI to be like a very small VI. But that'd be fun.
That'd be worthwhile. I mean, again, even if you did the basic commands, honestly, I've been using VI for years, and there's still a lot I don't know.
The thing I like is the WordStar clone for Windows, WordZAR. Word TSAR.
Yeah.
if you really want to go old, you can download a copy of that text editor off of my website. That's the very first text editor for 8080s.
Which one is it? Just called text editor?
Well, let me look. I hate this. I forget. My brain is
We're all like that,
just
buddy.
going numb.
Well, that's why we have to do this weekly, because we forget.
Was Edlin? Edlin for
Edlin,
DOS?
Edlin, I remember
Edlin.
Edlin.
Yeah, I remember using Edlin for DOS when I was about 17,
Yes.
back in
Oh
about
my God.
maybe about 1984, 82,
I
83.
forgot
Edlin.
about that one. Jeez, I haven't heard that one in years. That's a good
Yeah.
call.
But
That
yeah,
was about-
any line
That's-
editor is just pain. It's just pain.
Yeah, they're all. Boy, I don't know where the hell I've been. Golly,
All I
can't find
remember
it.
from my youth is G equals C800:5. That stuck with me like some kind of like I got like an implant in my brain. All I can remember is loading up discs, and is it an MFM or an RLL thing?
Format that hard drive.
Yeah, low level in hard drive. G equals C800:5 in debug. And I wish I could get rid of it. I wish I could take that out of my head.
I wish I could put back in everything I've forgotten. Jeez, over the years, some of the stuff like Edlin, I haven't thought of that in 1,000 years. I remember using it.
Well, the thing is, Joe, I knew a lot about DOS. I do. I'm quite. It's all still there, but it's not relevant to S100.
No. But again, I did. I supported DOS for years, and then supported
Yeah,
Windows, and all the way through OS2, and then NT and all that stuff.
Okay.
So I mean,
but I don't actually know anything about CPM. I think I said to Patrick early on is that one of my colleagues supported a North Star Dimension years ago. I think that was a very large, like a tower-based product, but I think that was running CPM. I never got near it. I was the person that did the MS-DOS stuff, and now here I am at 56, introducing myself to MS-DOS. CPM.
So I just found, I was doing a quick search here for VI and CPM, and somebody, and here I'm going to post it in chat. Somebody actually ported a subset of VI to CPM.
oh, cool.
What it does, I don't know, but that seems hilarious.
Oh, and there's a video. Okay, great.
I've got to try that.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah,
I think that editor I have,
and he's got the source on here.
Zip file.
He's published the source.
Oh, the editor source, yeah.
Oh, it looks like he cross-compiled it. He basically wrote it in C, I think that is, and then used a cross-compiler to get it on. Oh, wow, I have to watch this guy's video. That's insane.
Amsterdam compiler kit, he says at the beginning. I'm not sure that for generating 80 code. Yeah.
This generates 8080 machine code. So basically, it's a C compiler for the 8080. So that's somebody who's just, I don't know, a couple steps beyond as obsessed as I can get.
I think that editor that I have is in a zip file called the Lost Altair Software Library.
Okay.
It's a zip file on my website. It must be in there because I didn't see it as a separate posting.
Well, I'll look. I've downloaded a few things. I think even today, I think I downloaded a couple things from your site. Well, you got a lot of stuff there. I stumble on different things each time I go looking. So.
Yeah, and it keeps growing.
Yeah.
It would be nice if
go ahead.
It would be nice if I could get OCR that could read all those pages that I scanned in of that software library. There's a lot of math programs and other neat programs that do fancy ASCII text graphics on the screen, but You know, all the code is written in this either machine code, assembly code, and it's on sheets with extra lines, horizontal and vertical lines, all kinds of crap. So that's up to somebody that really wants it to type it all in.
Yeah, I'm busy.
But it's all from 1975. When you look at those coding sheets, those are the original 75 coding sheets.
I'm not sure. Hey, Joe. Actually,
Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
One quick thing, actually, before I think it's all got off soon. I think we're up to our hour. I bought one of those fuse boxes. Remember we were talking about 3 or 4 weeks ago about you using the little glass fuses.
Oh yeah, and then I think Terry suggested you get the car ones, right? The ones for using the automobile fuses, which was.
That's right. I bought a little car fuse box that takes the blade fuses.
Excellent.
Right,
and I'm just waiting for my last delivery of AliExpress for all the random components that I can put my Franken S100 together. So
nice.
Watch this space in a couple of weeks, and I'll have something that'll truly horrify you.
That's awesome. Yeah, that's a good idea. The glass ones, even those are getting hard for me to find. And as I said earlier, every now and then you throw a board in and you pop them. You know, so I think the car ones are the way to go. The auto ones. My brother. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, please go ahead.
No, so my brother came over. He mentioned VEdit. He said it's a TECO type editor. He said he used it for years, PDP-11 and some other type systems. But he says there is a version for CPM on a GitHub somewhere. So VEdit. He said it was really very like it does just a lot of stuff, but I don't know how complicated it is or anything. But he kind of mentioned it. So go ahead.
Yeah, when you get your blade thing set up, post some photos on the forum and make sure they're big enough that we can see them too. A lot of people
it's not going to be pretty.
Well,
the problem I found with those is a lot of those blade fuse holders are one in and a bunch out. They all take 12 volts in only, and then they fan out to a bunch of fuses. They're for they're designed for cars. I found a couple that were like 2 in, 2 out. So you can run 2 different power supplies through it. But, the problem we have is we have 8 volts plus 15, minus 15. So I don't, putting 3 of those in takes up a lot of space.
Yeah. No, I've got a little small one which just have 4 in and 4 out. It's only it's about that big, and it's just got literally 4 in and 4 out. And I've gone for plus 8, like you say, plus 16, minus 16.
Yeah.
But one other thing, actually, while you guys are on, because I know you're the experts in this, I'm about to start working out my schematics for power. Now, one of the things on the 9-slot board I've got, there's 3 relations to ground. By the way, I'm in Spain at the moment, as you might have figured out, so I haven't got it in front of me. I've got this ground plus 8, ground.
Yeah, I'm coming.
Plus 16, ground minus 16. Is that about right, give or take?
The grounds are all connected together.
That's what, you've just answered the question, Tim. The grounds are all answered together. And going back to the mean wells, I'm going to use mean wells, the grounds are all attached to the same ground as the incoming power for the...
Not exactly. Not exactly. So you want to connect the ground from the 8 and the plus 15, but you want to connect the positive of the minus 16 supply to ground. Otherwise, it will have the wrong relationship to ground.
Right. There's a picture on my website showing you how to do that.
Sorry, guys, I got to go. See you.
All right.
Take care, Terry.
Thank you, Terry. Okay, I think what I'll do is I'll post this question later then, guys. So
Paul, go to my website and look at the Altair page that says Altair 8800C, serial number 13195. Go to that page and scroll down, and you'll see a nice wiring diagram showing you how to do it.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Awesome.
Thank you very much. That's what I'm looking for, because I know that there's 3 grounds on the back plane, 1, 2, and 3.
Right.
But I was thinking, look, ground in England, ground is ground is ground. We call it Earth. Is it Earth?
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
It's all
I've
relative.
heard the term. Yeah.
Yeah, when it comes
Yeah.
to, because apart from anything else, the outputs from the mean wells are floating relative to the AC side ground. So there's no direct connection between, because basically on the mean wells, you'll see plus and minus.
Yes.
You want to, so the minuses for the 2 positives go to ground, and the positive for your minus 15 goes to ground. And then the other 3 go to the appropriate pins. It's probably can't see it.
Also, why isn't there a -8?
But,
They don't need it.
You don't need it. So the +8 is
What?
the +8 is regulated to +5 for driving all the chips.
Yeah.
And the plus and minus 15 is regulated to plus and minus 12 for RS-232.
Yeah, but I just don't understand why isn't there why is not a -8? It's just really confusing.
It was the RS-232, I think, required weird 8 to 12 volt ranges or something.
It was the plus and minus 12 is what you require for RS-232. Perfect.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yes. Yes. So the RS-230, the only reason you need the 15 volts for most systems is to regulate to 12 for RS-232.
Yeah, that's why the voltage draw is so small, isn't it?
Right. The current draw is tiny, whereas
all the 8 volt is for the
5 volt
chips for the 5 volt. Yeah, yeah. Which is why you need
I do think you need
10
-5
amps
for -5 for the 8080 also.
That's generated on board through a diode.
Oh, okay.
On the CPU board, if you look at the CPU board schematic for the Altair 8080 board, you can see where the -5 volts is generated through a Zener, I think.
Oh, yeah.
I think Neil said once, I think I was speaking to Neil Breeden. Is it Breeden or Bairden? I think he said that some boards, some of the memory boards, really big memory boards, could suck up to 3 amps.
Oh, yeah.
On the 8 volt circuit.
Absolutely.
Which means that if you had that many boards installed in a 9 slot backplane, you could be looking at maybe about 14 amps.
Oh,
I'm sorry to interrupt, guys. I got to hop off too.
Okay.
So take care, Patrick.
Take care, Patrick.
All right, mate. Thank you.
See y'all next week.
Yeah, next week.
Thank you,
so as I say, my original S100 system power supply, the 8 volt rail was rated for 25 amps.
Yeah.
And you literally could have used it to do arc welding. It had capacitors the size of Coke cans.
Yeah, that's what's in the IMSAI and stuff. Yeah.
It was frightening. I was so glad to see the back of that and replace that old thing with some mean wells.
I thought those capacitors were taller than a Coke can.
Some of them might have been, but they were huge.
And the transformer next to it usually weighs 30 pounds itself. Yeah. I have a couple of them here. I have the IMSAI, original IMSAI, and then I have a XOR motherboard that it's actually the power supply and motherboard or backplane are all in one board. It's having a problem. I got one of the capacitors all reformed, but one of the regulators is getting too much power, so it actually blew a capacitor on me a week or two ago, and I haven't gone back. Not the big ones, one of the little ones, and that made a loud. I was outside of the garage when it happened, but that made a loud noise and a lot of smoke for just a little 25 volt capacitor. So, but yeah, it's a little scary there. Back to the big ones. Go ahead.
Why hasn't someone come up with the design to sort of offload the 8 volt to 5 volt conversion when you could just take the converters off the board and build a separate energy line in?
There are some computers set up that way.
Right.
That you can feed them directly 5 volts.
That's something you have to be careful when you're buying old boards, is to make sure somebody didn't short out the voltage regulators because they plugged it into a 12 volt or 5 volt board, backplane.
Part of it, I think, was limitations of power supplies. The power supplies that were available in mid 70s were not the
Yes, Tim.
smooth
Yeah,
regulated power that we see today. So consequently, they moved. Then the little small computers on the board were cheap and worked well. So you just buy your 7805 and plug it in there, and if you're only drawing a half an amp or something, it'd work all day long without even much of a heat sink. So
yeah.
if you made 5 volts with smooth DC, then those capacitors probably would have been even bigger.
Well, you'd have a switching
Yeah, they
low
didn't.
power supply
Right,
now.
but that wasn't really a thing then.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I'm
they
just saying
didn't
that-
exist in 75.
Exactly.
But now they do.
Right.
But-
But we're
right,
working
so-
with
That's why you're using the mean wells. Is what it is.
Yeah.
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 But see, we're still working with 1975 circuit boards.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
I'm just wondering why someone hasn't written it.
I'm sorry. I'd hate to touch an old board and start removing those. I
Yeah.
don't know. It'd be bothersome. Here's something that it was actually purchased by mistake. It is 100-pin board. So I thought it was S100 when I was looking at it, but I never realized there was no regulator on it. This does not fit in the slot. So
Joe, click share on the bottom of your screen so we see it up
sorry.
close.
Well, let me find share here.
It's
Share
in the bottom,
share.
and yeah.
It's a good thing that didn't fit in your card cage. It could have done all manner
Oh
of
wait,
things.
we can go to view, and on
Yes.
top right corner go to view and go to speaker.
Yep.
Okay, there. Now you got a nice big picture.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Let's see.
Out of focus, but
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
It's okay.
It's hard to do.
I
I'm kind
know,
of just
I mean,
holding it up.
no, you got to back up a
when
little
did you
bit.
So what was it described as, Joe?
I thought they described it as, I normally wouldn't buy anything that doesn't say S100, but I guess I didn't look at it close enough when I was looking at it. Relatively cheap, I think. So I can't do anything with it, honestly. But I believe these guys might be worth some money somewhere along the way. Maybe I'm hoping.
What are the
It's a battery.
part numbers of those ROMs?
My eyes aren't thing. These are 2716s. But there says Texas Instrument on the first one, which is 2716 on the Texas Instrument isn't a 2716.
Yeah, 2716s are worth a couple bucks each. They sell on eBay.
It's got a nice glow, gold plating. They look really fancy.
Well, they sell on eBay for $2 to $20, but a lot of places sell them for about $2.
By the way, going back to our editor, I just found somebody. I'll just put a link in there. I'm searching on the side as I'm doing it. I love having 2 monitors. It makes life so much easier.
Yeah.
I was following the search looking for VEdit, and I came across this, which lists about 25 different editors for CPM.
Wow.
There you go.
Awesome. That's great. Oh, VEdit is in there. Okay.
Right, VEdit's in there. I haven't.
WordStar, WordMaster. Somebody mentioned WordMaster, didn't they earlier?
I think so.
WordStar.
VEdit.
WordStar.
Yeah.
Z80 Emacs. There you go.
Oh, that's
Emacs for Z80.
Yeah, no, it just happened. I had the Emac I went to is a GUI X version, so it had a lot of the similar commands you'd use on a graphical environment. So that's why I've been able to use it. But
I think I remember using Perfect Writer at one point.
There you are.
I think
Peachtree's been around for a long time.
Yeah, it's funny.